Suburban Toys. Guys, how are you doing?
We're good, thanks.
Very well, thank you.
Good, good. Who's going to tell me about the band, how you all started off?
That might fall to me. How did we all fall? Well, Adam actually and I formed the band at school. We just haven't aged very well over the last few years.
1981, believe it or not.
Yeah. And we sort of reincarnated it in 2012. And we do it because it's something to do and we love doing it.
Excellent. So has there been a lot of different different forms of the band, or the main band staying pretty steady?
There's a couple of months. If you've been around that long, you're going to have X amount of people through.
Of course, that always happens in bands.
It is, but we've probably had nearer 100 people through the lineup over the last 40 years. So, we've had quite a lot of lineups. I think the only constant has been myself and then Adam for most of it as well.
Excellent. You're guitarist.
Yes.
Right, yeah.
And what's the first song you're going to play for us this evening, guys?
Oh, we're going to play a song called Out of My Head.
Sounds appropriate. Off you go when you're ready.
1, 2, 3, go! Spinning out with my blonde pavement, another night I'm out my head on you. You know it's true, intoxicating me. Got my head full of so many problems. You know we can always make it through, and I always do. Humiliate me. All I ever wanna do, is to waste my time with you.
My time with you.
You gotta hate me through and through.
What can I do?
I just want you to feel me, but I know that you're gonna kill me. Hey! All I ever wanna do is waste my time with you. I want you hanging around, so we're both 6 feet under the ground. All I ever wanna do is waste my time with you. I want you hanging around, so we're both 6 feet under the ground. Spending the night with my blonde pavement, another night I'm out my head on you. You know it's true, intoxicating me. Got my head full of so many problems, but you know we can always make it through, and I always do. Humiliate me. All I ever wanna do, is to waste my time with you.
My time with you.
You gotta hate me through and through.
What can I do?
I just want you to feel me, but I know that you're gonna kill me. Hey! All I ever wanna do is waste my time with you. I want you hanging around, so we're both 6 feet under the ground. All I ever wanna do is waste my time with you. I want you hanging around, so we're both 6 feet under the ground. All I ever wanna do is waste my time with you. I want you hanging around, so we're both 6 feet under the ground. All I ever wanna do is waste my time with you. I want you hanging around, so we're both 6 feet under the ground. 'Cause I'm out my head on you. You know it's true. I'm out my head on you. You know it's true. I'm my head on you.
So if you guys have been together for not 40 years, but a good amount of time, how many songs do you have in this set? Or how many songs could you play?
How long do you want us to play for? We can be here all weekend if you want.
We probably dropped more songs than we've got in the repertoire at the moment.
Yeah.
Because the music style has evolved over the years.
Mm-hmm.
We started off as an out-and-out punk band that kind of mellowed a bit, and to bring things kind of in line with what we believe the modern tastes are, probably playing our own form of sort of third wave, maybe even fourth wave ska.
Yeah.
Ska, funky type stuff, yeah.
Yeah, that seems quite popular again nowadays.
It is, but that said, I think people, we have problems with some gigs because we're not punky enough for the punk crowd, we're not ska enough for the ska crowd, we sort of sit somewhere in between. So sometimes it's awkward just to pitch us into a specific type of gig situation or whatever. But to be honest, we don't really care because we play it because we like writing and playing this sort of stuff. So it's more a case of this is a hobby, a release from everything else you have to do in life.
Mind you get to play some pretty prestigious gigs, and you have supported some reasonably famous punk bands, haven't you, in the time?
We have in our time, yeah, loads.
Buzzcocks.
Buzzcocks. We're with the Wild Hearts, Dr. Feelgood, Big Country only a couple of weeks ago.
Very recently,
I mean, there's some big names there.
Yeah,
you know.
UK Sub Vibrators. But a lot of that is because I've got to know these people over the years, so it's just a case of trying to sort of blag yourself onto gigs, really.
Did you say, oh, you got a gig coming up? Can we have one?
We've got a gig tomorrow.
Oh, you? Well, you got to say that. Where you playing tomorrow?
Place at Lincoln called the Lincoln Imp in Lincoln, one of our few Lincoln gigs. And then we're out again on Sunday at Zero Bar in Stalybridge, which is somewhere near Manchester.
Oh, nice. The Lincoln Imp, that's quite a famous pub, isn't it? It's been
The
around
Lincoln
for a
Imp,
long time.
The Lincoln Imp in Scunthorpe is. That's an old recognised venue. The Lincoln Imp in Lincoln...
It's not?
Not so. It keeps changing hands, and it was torched about 3 or 4 years ago. There was an arson attack, and they've rebuilt it, and it's on the outskirts of Lincoln, and they're just trying to sort of try anything just to get people coming out again.
What's the music scene like in Lincoln?
Hope, I'll let you answer that.
Do I have to?
Yes.
Lincoln, it's very DIY, a lot of like grindcore, crust punk. It's not for me always. You even get these kind of bands busking lately. I think I've heard a band called Glitches, and it's not what you want to hear at 2 o'clock in the afternoon on your lunch break at work. But there you go.
Have you always been into punk yourself? Hope.
Yeah, to an extent. I think the first kind of music I grew up with, just because it's what was going in my childhood at the time, was like pop punk. So
yeah.
Very generic bands I know, but like Sum 41, Blink-182, this kind of thing. And then over the years, my tastes have expanded quite a lot. But it seems to always come back to punk in the end. So like now.
Did you go sort of retro, right back to the start of punk? Did you go for a period like that where you sort of went...
I think I've had all the phases.
Yeah. But punk's your main thing?
I think so, yeah.
And have you sang in other bands before?
Yeah, my previous band was called Nevium. That was more of a skate punk band, like melodic skate punk. Actually, yeah, no, before that, not as many punk bands, more like...
Can you remember the name of the first band you was ever in? Because sometimes the first name of the first band you was ever in is quite interesting. You've got to be honest.
I think it was a band. It was a sixth form band called Not Set in Stone, and it was because we couldn't think of a band name. And I said, well, it doesn't matter what band name we have, it's Not Set in Stone. And everyone just went at me.
Yeah.
I think she's got a soft spot for Take That, really, and Boyzone and Westlife. And other such wonderful bands.
So any of you have been in different bands apart from Suburban Toys?
Yeah, I was in a band called The Eccentrics for a while, which we did a hell of a lot of gigs. There's an old school punk band called Subhumans, and our drummer is the Subhumans drummer. And we toured everywhere, Europe, America, and England as well. And it's sort of been Suburban Toys morphed into The Eccentrics, who morphed back into the Suburban Toys. So it's sort of like one long band, whatever. Adam played in covers band.
Yeah, I had a departure from the Suburban Toys for probably too long, but certainly in excess of 15 years, you know. And in that time, spent a lot of that playing in a covers band, so the local pubs and clubs around Lincoln, doing your typical sort of stereophonics, Coldplay, you know, Feeder, that sort of stuff, so Oasis, so... But it's a different scene altogether. You can't compare the two. Nothing really beats writing and playing your own material to an audience that you know, hopefully has no expectation of what you're going to deliver.
Yeah.
You can't compare it to anything. So it's a good one.
And Tony on drums, sitting right at the back there. I suppose you've been in plenty of bands.
He's
I take it.
Yeah, quite a few.
What can you remember the name of the first band you ever played in?
Liquid Mirrors, I think.
Liquid Mirrors, not a bad name.
Goth band.
Yeah, that one with goth music neither. Yeah. There's still plenty of goth bands around.
No, not enough.
That's right.
He's a massive Fields and Nephilim fan.
Is he? Well done. I'm a big Fields and Nephilim fan. Been to see him loads of times. Yeah. Dawn Razor's got to be one of my favourite albums of all time.
It is.
Yeah,
Brilliant.
yeah. Just lovely introduction. That Ennio Morricone beginning of it, you know.
The harmonica man.
Yeah, that's the one. Fantastic. Anyway, guys, what's the next song you're going to play for us?
Cry Wolf.
Oh, yeah, I've got a set list in front of me, but I've got it turned
Yeah,
over.
but I've been told already that you can't read.
Well, that's quite true.
One of your guys here said you couldn't read, so
Yeah.
we're gonna have to read them out for you.
I struggle with the names of some people here and they. So, yeah, Daz Cadwallander did throw me out the first time round. You know what I mean? You should shorten it just to Wallander, but that was a detective series, I reckon. Anyway, off you go with Cry Wolf.
When all I needed to say was all I ever did. Face it, you're the only one. My life has just begun. When all you needed to say was all I ever did. Wasted, you're the only one. My life has just begun. Your crocodile tears, they're nothing to me. Lead us out of your face. You're nothing without me. Your crocodile tears, they're nothing to me. They just out of your face. You're nothing without me, yeah. When all I had was never what you wanted, what did you achieve? All you did was deceive. When all you had was all I ever wanted, what did we achieve? We were so naive. Your crocodile tears, they're nothing to me. They just out of your face. You're nothing without me, yeah. Your crocodile tears, they're nothing to me. They just out of your face. You're nothing without me, yeah. When you sit back and see, you realize all you wanted was me. When you sit back and see, you realize all you wanted was me. You're the boy who cried wolf. You're the boy who lied. You're the boy who cried. Nothing but crocodile tears. Your crocodile tears, they're nothing to me. They just out of your face. You're nothing without me, yeah. Your crocodile tears, they're nothing to me. They just out of your face. You're nothing without me, yeah. Your crocodile tears, they're nothing to me. They just out of your face. You're nothing without me, yeah. Your crocodile tears, they're nothing to me. They just out of your face. You're nothing without me, yeah.
Michael, you've got some comments and some shout-outs for us.
Yes, I have. Good evening, everybody. People watching tonight, Jill Day, Andrea from Stamford, Natalie and Neve, Sammy O'Donnell, Hey Hey the Toys, I Want to Do, Sarah Jane watching, Mark Ringer, Hayley Chapman, can't wait to play with you tomorrow night, awesome. And Kat Swed said, loving it.
That's what we like to hear. So who writes all the lyrics for the band?
That's
I guess
anybody.
across time, yeah, anyone.
Yeah.
Generally, whoever the vocalist is at the time.
So
So I've written one whole song at the moment.
yeah, fair enough. But you'll get more into the songwriting and
Of
hope.
course, yeah.
Yeah. Do you enjoy writing lyrics?
Yeah, I've sort of always wanted to write in some form, really. Just since I was a kid, I loved reading. I don't know, just then music sort of always merged into that, and it just felt like a nice release to always write lyrics about like stuff going on in my head, which is a bit cringy, I know. But yeah, that's pretty much it.
And who's the main sort of songwriter who writes the music?
Generally I do, but I bring it sort of to the band and they change it out of all recognition.
Yeah, so you come along with a guitar riff and
Yeah, and you know, whatever I write's a waste of time because Adam changes it.
yeah, and then sort of thing as the bass line kicks in the drums and then the
Yeah,
vocals, you can end up somewhere totally different, can't you?
There's famous things like, for example, I'll bring a song to the table and Adam goes, yeah, Adam will say, yeah, it's a lovely song. It's not really the Toys though, is it? And that's the, I'm sort of like, oh, deflated. No, it ends up being a collaborative effort with everybody because everybody chips in their little bit and changes it accordingly.
Yeah. And have we got Suburban Toy Albums?
Yes, we have. There's a most recent one is one called Out of the Blue, which actually isn't Hope singing on it. Then we actually got a really, really good live recording through the desk, layered recording from a gig recently at the Tash in Blackpool, and I've been mixing it down, and our aim is to put that out as a live CD, with the hope that very shortly, hopefully by the end of this year, we can get into the studio and record lots of other songs again.
So do you have like a collective band fund where you save all the money from the gigs and that, and then push it into the recordings? And
yeah, to a point. It's sort of. I teach work. I used to teach. I don't teach there. I do all the school engagement. I'm at a music, media, and games design college. We have resources like free rehearsal space and studios.
Oh, nice.
So it's just a case of finding time to sort of get in there and take advantage of that.
Oh, so you don't have to pay an extortionate amount of money to do some recordings?
Just, sort of mixing and mastering,
yeah.
Normally, the actual raw recording. Yeah, we don't have to, which is a huge benefit when you're a band doing original stuff and you don't get a lot of money for gigs compared to covers bands.
Yeah. But do you enjoy the recording process? Some bands really enjoy it and other people's don't at all.
Me personally?
Yeah, well, the whole band.
Adam?
Yeah, it can be a bit long-winded, but yeah, the resultant sort of product is usually fulfilling. So yeah.
Hope?
Yeah, I don't know. I always prefer maybe a live kind of environment because I feed off other people's energy. Yeah. So but then if it is live and there's an audience that aren't really that responsive, then I'm just like...
Yeah, because it's like a feedback circle, isn't it? If the people start jumping and dancing about and stuff like that, sort of gets you going more as well.
Yeah, I generally prefer live, I think.
Yeah, I personally can't stand it.
No.
To be honest, I find it tedious process. That's just me. I prefer.
You never just gone into a studio and it's like, right, let's just do, 5 numbers, straight live, and away we go.
Yeah, have done, but even then you sort of still got to go and overlay the tracks because there's always some sort of cock up somewhere along the line.
Yeah.
And it's a case of you may as well do the layered recording in the first place.
Yeah, fair enough.
I'm much for getting out there gigging, to be honest, if it's me.
Good for you. And the next song you're going to do for us is...
Out of the Blue.
Out of the Blue.
You say you always win with your charms. It was all so simple, all so easy. When our lives back then was just books and pens. But we got older and apparently wiser. Worlds apart, but still close, lost friends. Yeah, years turn up. You say you always win with your charms. Look, there you are, and there you go again. You think it's kind of funny that some things will never change. Knocking on the door, calling on the phone. Oh yeah, you know just when to call, when to call. all so simple, all so easy. When our lives back then was just books and pen, but we got older and apparently wiser. Worlds apart, but still close, lost friends.
It's always the quality of the crowd, not the size of the crowd.
Of course. We try to make you a decent audience.
We've got quality in today.
Of course, yeah. Well said, well said. It's quite uplifting music, sort of ska music anyway, isn't it? You know, quite cheerful.
Yeah. It's, we're too old to be miserable devils. Life's too short, so it's always nice to have something to smile about. So, yeah. Quite often the lyrics we have are sort of counterpoint to that. So you've got sort of happy music and miserable lyrics, which I think works quite well. So, yeah, it is. It's always nice to sort of give somebody a beat that they can sort of groove or move to type thing.
Yeah. I could probably only manage one or two of your songs now before I got out of breath, I think.
You're probably the same as us. We manage
so-
about 2 or 3, and then we just stand here.
Yeah.
Adam and I particularly, because, you know, we're old.
Yeah, tell us about it.
Yeah, you're probably all this sort of similar age as me, I should think, really. You know what I mean?
I don't ask how old you are.
60.
No, we're not far off. You're right.
Ah.
Yeah, you're wearing better than we are.
Speak for yourself.
Adam's 27, like I say, just been a hard life.
Yeah.
Hard work playing in a band.
Are all you guys into punk music? You know, the rest of the band, apart from Hope. You know, was you into different sorts of music, or was it always punk and nothing else?
Yeah, I mean, you know, being into punk music was the reason for Vince and I, you know, being forming the band in the first place. I think over the years, when you kind of, dare I say it, become a musician as well, as a music fan, you know, your tastes sort of expand and mature a bit. But at heart, you know, we're still here doing this because we love it, you know, and, you know, why not? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, when I was a punk, I used to be like, I'm not listening to any of that hippie rubbish, you know, at the time, you know, so... But as you get older, you sort of listen to more music and your tastes widen and you end up listening to lots of different sorts of music, you know. But I still listen to a lot of punk and post-punk more than anything else, really, to be quite honest, you know, so...
I think, yeah, I'm probably about the same as that. I think, as Adam says, you taste it not so much mellows. I think it just sort of actually gets...
broadens, doesn't it, really? Yeah, rise and broadens.
Sort of it finesses a little bit more.
Yeah.
So you know, for example, a band that we all grew up listening to, Sham 69.
Yeah.
Can't listen to them now.
No.
There's nothing there for me. And where was Tony, the goth in the band? Just said he can.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I mean, I used to. I was actually. Some people say the Stranglers weren't a punk band, and other people say they were. But I suppose for myself personally, I think the Stranglers were probably one of the better punk bands at the time, and definitely decent musicians, even if they came out of like the London pub scene at the time. Yeah. I've always loved the Stranglers, and I can still go back and listen to their albums over and over again.
We were lucky to play at the Butlins Alternative Festival in 2016, and Stranglers were on the bill, and. They blew everyone away. They were amazing.
Yeah.
There's you're right. They weren't classed as punk. They were sort of too prog to be punk, weren't they?
Yeah, in a way, yeah.
To be honest, you listen to Ratus Norvegicus and
No
More for Heroes.
Yeah, fantastic albums, yeah.
Absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, yeah.
They don't date either. You can still
No, they don't. No. It's sort of weird, isn't it? Because it's sort of like punk music with Manzarek from The Doors on the keyboard sort of thing.
Yeah. I would argue Dave Greenfield's a better keyboard player than Ray Manzarek.
Well, that's it. I've seen this discussion before, but Ray Manzarek did play the bass lines for The Doors at the same time on the keyboard.
True.
You know, so, but yeah, Stranglers weren't. You know, it's like everyone's got different things. Yeah, I was a massive Pistols fan. I was average Pistols fan, but like yourself, perhaps I preferred people like the Buzzcocks as well. You know, just you know, and the Undertones and people like that.
I think I'm a bit like you. I was more Stranglers than Pistols, but also I really had a passion for local bands putting out their own singles. because some absolute gems are out
Of
there.
course, yeah,
that people
yeah.
will never hear, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So, you know, gems that don't even appear on YouTube, for example. And those are the things that they're sung and played with passion, and you can feel it come through the songs.
Yeah, yeah. For the first two Peterborough punk bands we had was a band called The Now.
I know the Now, yeah.
Yeah. And who was the other
We
one?
did a song called
Something Dolls or something like that. I can't quite remember the name of them. But The Now are a pretty famous drummer.
Yes.
Pretty famous band.
Yes.
Not drummer band.
From the town, beginning with G.
Yeah. Development Corporation. That was the one that was most famous. Yeah.
Great bands. Yeah, could do with a sort of an uprising like that again, couldn't we, musically?
We could indeed, yeah. Everything goes round in circles, you know. I mean, like, ska has gone round quite a few times, hasn't it, really?
It has. To be honest, that's almost the reason why Adam and I started jamming again and playing, because we both sort of started liking sort of third wave ska bands such as Dancehall Crashers, Kingpins, the sort of early pre-Rancid stuff as well. And it sort of just had a poppy feel, something you said earlier on about uplifting and whatever, and it just really, really sort of attractive.
Smash
musically.
Mouth in there. Yeah.
Smash Mouth, great band, first album.
I've seen heated discussions on Facebook groups around saying who is ska bands and who are not ska bands. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah, it's awkward. I think a lot of people, unless the band have got a brass section in, they don't class it as ska, which is just wrong, really.
Yeah.
You know, I think ska is.
Have you ever had a brass section?
Sorry, have you ever had a brass section? Yes, with the Toys very early on. We had a keyboard player who played saxophone and guitar, didn't we? Panama. Remember?
Yeah, a very long time ago, probably 1982 into 83, really.
Yeah.
So,
So we did briefly.
Michael's got a couple more comments.
Yeah, I've had Mark Ringer says the Stranglers are progressive. What that means. And he said, do you mean the Dole?
That's it, the Dole. That's
The
the
Dole.
one. That's the one. Well done, Mark.
The Dole.
Yeah, the Dole.
The
Big
band
Mark.
who did
Yeah.
Design Me.
Yeah, that
Design
Peterborough
Me
band.
and Trash and whatever.
Yeah.
I love that band.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I used to play in a band with the drummer from the Dole.
Say again, sorry.
I used to play in a band with the drummer from the Dole.
Oh, right. Wow.
Many moons ago.
Great band.
Yeah.
They brought out a CD a while ago, the album, but on the it was like a double CD. The second CD is all demo versions. Blows it away. It's absolutely amazing. So yeah, it's really good band.
Next song, Don't You Know By Now?
Yes. Putting up your glass house, the coloring with your rose, too diffused, too fragile to be broken, too hurt to hear the news. Ooh, that the world keeps on turning, people keep on learning. Without you, you're never prepared enough to get back up again and do all the things you say you want to do. Try to see the world from another point of view. Showing enough by now, it's a revolve around you. Killing up into a ball and burning out the wall. You're the victim. Refuse to be untangled. Worried you'll be mangled and be kicked in. But the world keeps on turning, people keep on learning. Without you, why can't you prepare yourself to get back up again and do all the things you say you wanted to do? Say all the things you say you wanted to say. You said you wanted to see the light, but funny that it seems that you never tried. The world from another point of view. Showing you know by now it's a revolve around you. You want to take it all. See that, honey, it's your never try. No, it's telling us you want to see the light. The body that is speaking that you never try to see the world from another point of view. Surely you know by now. From another point of view, surely you know by now it's a revolve around you. You want to take it all. Too bad, honey, it's your final call. See the world from another point of view. Surely you know by now it's a revolve around you. It's a revolve around you. It's a revolve around you.
I reckon that was quite a long song for you guys. I think you got quite a short one. Isn't it? Was that one a bit more of an epic?
Yeah, it's 3 minutes 50 odd, that one, isn't it?
That started off. It's one of the newest songs we've written.
Hope wrote lyrics for that.
Yeah, and the one that
well done.
Hope has written the lyrics for, but it did start off as a very long song.
Yeah.
And we shortened it, and it fits.
Yeah. We normally try to sort of keep them down to 2 minutes, 33 minutes, but I think the original plan was to use that one as an end of set type song.
Yeah.
Where you can just sort of go on and on and on and on until the audience is that bored they bugger off home. But we shortened it because we want to keep the audience.
So even a 45-minute set for you guys, there must be quite a lot of songs in there.
Yeah. 45-minute set for us is getting on for about 15, 16, 17 songs. But the Ramones got more in less time.
Yeah.
Napalm Death, well, what can I say?
They used to hang around in Rock City many moons ago, Napalm Death.
They did.
Yeah, you always used to run in from there on a Saturday night.
Locally at one stage, weren't they?
Well, Mansfield at one point, weren't they?
Sawdulles, yeah, around that way.
Yeah, they very often used to be propping up the bars in Rock City. I can remember that stage I went through. Well, perhaps it was the stage I went through. Either way, for a period, whenever time I used to go see a band in Rock City, Napalm Death very often used to be there.
It's one way to get known, isn't it?
Yeah. Bit too quick for me. I don't mind a bit of hardcore, but a little bit too quick for me.
Have you heard their version of Kids in America, Kim Wilde's song?
No.
Go for it.
All right, I'll have to have a look.
There's even a version on YouTube with Kim Wilde.
Tony on the
singing
video
it.
cameras, it's more of his scene, isn't it, Tone? Yeah. He likes it really, 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 really fast. So, which I don't mind, but yes. So what's, if somebody says to you then, can you do 2 45-minute sets? That's like 32 songs. Or 30 odd songs.
We just play the same set twice,
I know it's
In reverse order.
Because the second set, the audience will be too drunk to realise,
Mike, if we do that, we want a rider of a canister of oxygen.
Yeah.
We're going to need it.
So really, most of the time you just do one set, yeah?
Yeah.
We have got a lot more songs.
I know.
And, as Vince mentioned at the start of the interview, Hope is new to the band. So
Yeah, she's going to create...
There's a lot more songs.
Yeah.
We could play a different set of this length, to be honest with you, of all good stuff as well.
Yeah, sure.
And new stuff in the making. So, it's.
I mean, do you have some old favourites? Like you got a certain amount of fans, I take it, who probably come to some of your gigs most of the time. Have you got like certain songs you always have to play, no matter what?
Yeah, for own sort of personal joy, there's 2 songs in this set, With You and Far Away, that date back from 81, 82.
Yeah.
Those haven't been dropped because we just like them.
You just really like playing them.
Yeah. And occasionally we'll throw in a cover version or 2, and we've played around with a few over the years, haven't we?
Yeah.
My favourite one was Kylie Minogue's "Can't Get You Out of My Head," which I just couldn't get out of my head. So
Picture the
we ended up
scene.
doing a version.
Well, we'd like to hear that tonight, but I take it you're not rehearsed for it. No.
I think there's 4 members of the band that can't remember that one.
What was the other cover version you played around with?
Oh, Sonic Reducer.
Oh yeah.
We have actually
Cold
we
Feelings?
did Cold Feelings that we've done Kids
by
in America.
Socialist Orchestra.
We've done
Kids
Don't
in-
Dictate by Penetration and
We've done the Pistols one.
Identity by
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Three Specs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've done Pretty Vacant by the Pistols.
Yeah.
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 Bondage Up Yours would be a good one to do.
Bondage up yours. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, off you go.
Classic song.
Yeah, it really is. Yeah. That'd be a great one to do. But you do need a saxophonist for that one.
We did it without a saxophonist.
Did you?
On the,
It's one of the few
Identity,
songs
so
I think you can get away with, to be honest with you.
Oh, fair
because
enough.
it's such a tight, powerful song, you know. But,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you
It'd be
play
great
it
to have
badly,
a
it still
song.
sounds good.
Yeah.
Believe me.
All right. So we've we've got With You. This is one of your favourites to play.
Yeah, it goes back to 1982. This, so we still get it wrong occasionally. But
Off you go.
I don't want to be one of those guys who hangs around all night. I don't want to be one of those girls with breasts skirts so tight. I just want to go my own way, do what I want to do. I don't need these people around, I'll just stick with you. Let me be with you,
Yeah, wanna be with you.
I want to be with you.
Yeah, wanna be with you.
Let me be with you.
Yeah, wanna be with you.
I wanna be with you. Yeah, wanna be with you. I don't mind if you don't care. I don't mind at all. We could just go along together. I'll answer every call. I just wanna go my own way, do what I wanna do. I don't need these people around. I'll just stick with you. Let me be with you.
Yeah, wanna be with you.
I wanna be with you.
Yeah, wanna be with you.
Let me be with you.
Yeah, wanna be with you.
I wanna be with you. Yeah, wanna be with you.
Yeah, caught us out there with a sudden stop. Can you get hold of that song on a single or an album?
No,
No.
is that right?
I don't think we recorded
Have
that
we
one.
not recorded it?
No.
Well, you got next time you go into the studio, you'll have to record it.
Well, good idea. We will.
So we're also suffering from memory loss, Vincent.
Well, you get to a certain age, you do. You know, it's one of those things I see here sometimes, and I think, well, I can't remember that at all now, and I don't know what I'm talking about. So yeah, just it does happen. I'm afraid. Even the odd part of beer probably helps up lubricating it here and there, but we can't have alcohol in the studio, unfortunately, which is a bit of a shame. I'd love to present a radio show, sort of a little bit drunk, and to see what would happen, really. So
Just speak to Adam. You can arrange it just like that.
it would be quite interesting. Perhaps I ought to do one at home just as a
I
test.
want to hear some of his guitar solos after a couple of times.
Yeah.
I don't know
So
which
do
song
you,
he's
do you
playing.
have a
So do I.
Do you have a bit of a ban on drinking before a gig then?
Do we have a ban on drinking for a gig, Adam? Do we? You didn't answer that one.
Yeah, kind of, yeah.
What was it? Where was it? 2 pints before the gig or 3 pints before the gig?
6-pack in the car on the way up to the gig.
Ah, yeah.
And the thing is, Tony's the one that supplies him.
I'd be in trouble because my bladder is sort of pretty weak, so I've got about 6 pints before a gig. I'd probably have to nip to the loo after about 3 or 4 songs.
I'd be in
Tell you
trouble.
what, we don't have a laugh though.
They do. I'm driving.
Right, yes, always. Do you not take it in turns driving?
Yeah, I wouldn't trust Adam.
Oh, right, fair enough.
Wouldn't trust me that I can't drive.
Oh, that's good. You got one more comment, Michael?
Yeah, a lot of people watching tonight, and I'm getting an awful lot of clapping emojis, so keep a good work up, fellas.
Cool, thanks.
You're doing great, guns.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Excellent. So,
These guys
have you
want to
guys
come to the
got a separate web page where people can sort of drop onto and stuff like that?
We have. There's a Facebook page. The other page actually hasn't been updated, so
Right. Facebook's the best way to get in contact with
Facebook's the
them.
best way. Yeah.
And any recordings on the streaming sites like
There's a YouTube channel with the recent gigs on with Hope. There's probably some of the others as well up there. Bandcamp has got the album on. Spotify's got the album on. iTunes, they're all
Oh,
up
excellent,
there,
yeah.
etc.
can anybody get? Is there any physical copies of the albums available?
I'm staring at some right now, actually.
Have you? Well, give them a flash around then in front of the camera.
I'm gonna grab one. Did you want us to flash?
Yeah, well, hold on in front of the camera so people.
Adam's going to. Oh, hang on.
Hold it away.
And here we have Hope modelling the very latest in Suburban Toys LP.
So how people get hold of that? Come to the gigs, or can they email you? And
From all good toy shops on Monday.
And charity shops on Tuesday.
Yeah.
Boom. Message us through the page, through the site.
Yeah,
I'll send them
all
out.
the social media Vincent's mentioned, you can contact the band. So
Yeah.
and how much are you selling them for? Whatever you can get for them.
Whatever we can get
Gave them
for
out
them.
for free at one of the gigs.
Some gigs we give them
we'll
out.
pay you
for
£1
free.
to
Well,
take
yes,
one.
yeah.
All right, dance. We'll give you a CD. Yep, cool.
Yeah, well, it's a good way of getting your music
Well, sometimes
heard,
it's
giving
good
them
we-
out free.
Yeah, we do. We that,
Yeah.
or pay what you feel it's worth.
Yeah, it's
Watch
a
us
really good
play
way.
and-
It does really work. A couple of bands I was in, we always used to give away, especially when we was out of town, give away albums and stuff like that.
Absolutely, and at the end of the day, they don't cost us much from the recording point of view. Obviously, the replication of them doesn't cost much either, really, in effect. So, you're right, it's just a good way of sort of trying to get your product out there, isn't it?
Talking to merchandise, we got Suburban Toy T-shirts.
We have. And
And badges.
Badges.
I always wear a badge. That's really so I can remember what band I'm in at the end of the night. Yeah.
That's a good idea. I should get myself a Dot Radio Show T-shirt, so I can look down. Oh yeah, I'm doing a Dot Mason Radio Show.
CDs and
we only have the badge on him, so we know it's him to put him in the car at the end of the evening.
What's the next track you're going to? Oh, Salamander.
Salamander.
Met a girl the other night like none you'd ever seen before. She made me feel something strange, and addiction left you wanting more. Here she comes down, see her slink across the room. Watch her as it all spins from you. She's a salamander crawling through the flames. She's a salamander. Why do you have to play her games? Here she comes now, see her slink across the room. Watch her as it all spins from you. Nerves are sending shivers up your spine. She's playing with fire and your view. Do you want to know the heat? You had to feel the flames. See her through the haze, feel fire blowing through your veins. Here she comes now, see her slink across the room. Watch her as it all spins from you. fire dancing with a salamander. Turn your fire dancing with a salamander. Turn your fire dancing.
It caught us out again. So, what sort of demographic do we get to come into the shows? Have we got young punks, or have we got sort of people reliving their youths, or what?
How do you assess 0 people? Norwich was full of old punks, you're right. It's a bit of a mix, yeah, the older punk crowd primarily, plus some sort of really, I'm sort of saying, 21 and unders. I think the 21 to 50-year-olds, their ears are already shot and they don't like us. Yeah, it's probably sort of either under 21.
Typically your first generation punks, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
And they're
deaf.
you know, it's a nice audience to play to be honest with you, because they enjoy a night out, they enjoy the music, they enjoy the networking, and we all kind of get something out of it, you know.
Yeah.
And Adam can share, 10 or 20 beers with them afterwards.
Yeah.
And I don't feel so old. That's what it really is, right?
Well, yeah. I get where you're coming there. Because if you go to a gig like that, you always probably run across somebody you're not seen for 20 years.
Yeah, true. Very true.
You know, if I went to a Fields and Nephilim gig, and I'd definitely see people I hadn't seen for 20 or 30 years, I'm
You
sure.
now see Tony as well.
Yeah, I might know him. You never know. I'll ask him what gigs he was at when we finish there.
It'll be a long conversation.
Yeah, could well be. You know, have you got any more comments there, Michael?
Yeah, I've got a very important one.
What?
Sky Mason's watching.
That's my daughter. There we go. Hope you're enjoying the show, Sky. You know, so no, she's up in Leeds studying music. Bless her heart. So
Runs in the family then.
hope so. Yeah. Well,
cool.
yeah, definitely with Sky. That's for sure. Yeah. Did have a son who used to do a bit of rapping here and there and grime and stuff like that, but that seems to have dropped off. You never know. Anyway, Coupe De Ville. That sounds a familiar name.
Coupe De Ville. It's the first song that when we got to back together, me and Adam jammed when we were sort of like no lineup, just we thought we'd have a bit of a jamming session. So me, him, and a drum machine, which is brilliant because drum machines keep time, don't they, Tony? And
That's a bit harsh on him, bless
you
him.
only have to hit them once, and they get it right first time. And we didn't have any lyrics to it, so it was an idea that sort of came out of that. And then my car was off the road. I had to catch the bus into town, which if anybody drives then has to catch public transport, you know how mundane that is. And the lyrics just came to me on that one. So it's the first song that the reformed Toys really wrote. And I think it set the tone for how we would like a lot of the songs, didn't it?
That's right, yeah.
So, cool, all right, Coupe.
Off you go.
Got myself a motor, as you can see. She's a pale blue cat, and she's the sweetest can be. Stop, top down, the sun I can feel. My very own brand new automobile. Running the road with 150 HP. Gleaming chrome, she's a sight to see. Stop, top down, the sun I can feel. My very own brand new automobile. Running around all over town in my 49 Coupe De Ville. Hitting the street and I'm feeling the heat in my 49 Coupe De Ville. Running around all over the scene. Got myself a motor, as you can see. She's a pale blue cat, she's the sweetest can be. Stop, top down, the sun I can feel. My very own brand new automobile. Running the road at 150 HP. Gleaming chrome, she's a sight to see. Stop, top down, the sun I can feel. My very own brand new automobile. Running around all over town in my 49 Coupe De Ville. Hitting the street and I'm feeling the heat in my 49 Coupe De Ville. Running around all over the scene. Hey, 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 hey.
Now, I know that one's available on an album, because that was on your last album, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
And I played it on the radio show as well. Yeah.
It's, that and Out of the Blue are probably the ones that go down best, I think, because they're sort of more as a ska type thing.
And being up on stage and playing it, it tends to get the feet tapping of sometimes the most, unsuspecting audiences.
Yeah, yeah.
So we keep playing it.
The drunk ones.
Good. Do you sometimes, when you're playing a gig, do you sometimes change the set order down to the audience? You're thinking, these ones are not working. We'll throw these different ones in.
Absolutely. I think you look at what crowd you're expecting to get, and at the moment it's different because Hope's not been long with us, we've sort of stuck to this plus 3 other songs in our normal set. But once get more in.
Once you've got a broad selection of like 60 or something.
And you sometimes get sort of what you envisage is going to be a more ska-oriented set, or audience, and sometimes more punky lot. So you can't we mix it a bit.
You can sort of read the audience and think, they like this a bit more than that, so we'll change the direction a little bit.
Yeah, well, we planned it beforehand, to be honest. We sort of mutually agree a set in the previous rehearsal thing and the running order, etc. To hope that it sort of goes down all right. Again, it's not a precise science anyway.
No.
And it's a case of what do we like best? It is a case of, we're performing because we want to perform. So it's a case of, if there's a song in there that we are starting to get tired of, we drop it, don't we? So, yeah. We throw in, like I say, Sonny Reducer as covers sometimes. But I think Out of the Blues is a good example. It's back in the set at the moment, but it was out of the set for a couple of years because we got bored of playing it.
Fair enough.
So
Next one's Radioactive. That a new one or an old one?
Radioactive was written in about 1997.
Yeah.
And changed in 98, 99, 2000.
So you've done a few different versions of it.
Oh, there's loads of different versions of probably all of his songs.
There's a feeling of longing inside everyone. I'm tired of waiting for the rising sun, and it shows you waiting to release its power. And it's me you're wanting, so put out the fire. Radioactive, burning up inside. Radioactive, how will you survive? Radioactive, you know it's getting to you. Radioactive, what more can I do? Don't believe in one of the same. Turning us, going round another day. And every moment we'll be together. And every second will last forever. Yeah, radioactive, burning up inside. Radioactive, how will you survive? Radioactive, you know it's getting to you. Radioactive, what more can I do? What's the flame without the spark? Some of the gleam glowing in the dark. I'll hear you whisper, la la la. Then let the sunshine beneath the covers. Yeah, radioactive, burning up inside. Radioactive, how will you survive? Radioactive, you know it's getting to you. Radioactive, what more can I do? Radioactive, radio, radioactive, radio.
Right, so we've got one more track to come up. Guys, tell us where you're playing tomorrow evening.
Lincoln Imp at what's the address?
Blankney Crescent in Lincoln.
Yeah.
Are you playing by yourselves? You got a...
No, we're playing with Free to Decide and Hedgehog Reality.
Oh, excellent. There's a gig for you to go to, Tony.
He sounded enthused.
And he's a big fan of Hedgehog Reality, is Tony. And we know we've had a bit of a mix-up in the bookings and the diary, which was all my fault. Anyway, I won't talk about that now. Michael's got one more comment.
Yes, from Terry Martin.
That's Hedgehog Reality.
Yeah, enjoying the music. See you guys tomorrow night.
Looking forward to
Look
it, mate.
forward to it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Last one, Far Away.
Okay.
Far away in an eastern land, far away in a no man's land, isolated a wise man stood, far away from grass and wood. Oh, far away, far away, far away. He was isolated. Oh, yes, he was isolated. This old man was very wise, an evil man can't close his eyes. Far away in eastern land, isolated by his own hand. Oh, far away, far away, far away. He was isolated. Oh, yes, he was isolated. Far away in eastern land, far away in no man's land, isolated a wise man stood, far away from grass and wood. Oh, far away, far away, far away. He was isolated. Oh, yes, he was isolated.
Ladies and gentlemen, Suburban Toys. Big shout out to Mr. Paul Biggins on the mixing desk. Thank you very much, Paul. Tony Wilshaw for camera operators, and for Michael Day for doing the comments for me. This is a band from South Yorkshire. They are called Civic Green, and this song's called A Million Little Pieces.
Looking back, I went off track. all the pieces smashed like glass, lying there, and